Thank you, Mike. Thanks very much. And thanks very much, everyone, for being here tonight. And it's my pleasure to introduce the Kodal story to you all. And I hope we have some current investors here. And following the presentation tonight, I hope we have a few more. We are a lithium-focused company operating in West Africa. Our main project, the BOUGOUNI lithium project, is actually in Mali, West Africa. And in addition to our lithium focus, we actually have some gold assets, which I'm happy to talk to people about afterwards, but this talk tonight is all about lithium. So thanks, Mike, for the disclaimer, and that's about what I normally do. But as I said, we're a West African-focused company. Our project is something we acquired in late 2016. It's in southern Mali. It's approximately 180 k's from the capital, Bamako. We've been operating there successfully now for the last 18 months, and we've always been very particularly focused on a goal of moving to development and mining as quickly as possible. In our view, the lithium market is a growing market. It's a very exciting market, but it offers a niche for mining companies to get involved and supply a product while the demand is high and the price is high. And the opportunity for us is that we will be mining pegmatite hosted, so hard rock, outcropping mineralisation, simple metallurgy, simple open pit mining, possibility of defining and developing a high margin, low cost operation. Again, we'll have a few more pointers about what actually is going on with the lithium market and our project. We're a good team. We've got an excellent team in country. Small group, but focused group, some excellent Malayans with contacts from government through to very good quality geologists working with us. That's me. I'm the CEO. I've been working in West Africa probably now for the last 12 years. Geologist, experience in West Africa, Australia and Europe. Exploration's my main game, but I have been involved in development and mining and management of operations for an extended period. So I bring a good skill set to the company. Associated with me is Luke Bryan, and Luke was one of the founding directors of Kodal actually, and has been consistently a strong supporter and assistant in the company. Luke's a mining engineer, again, broad range of experience through Europe and Africa, Australia, and as general with mining people, we're all around the world. Rob Wooldridge is our chairman, he's a partner at SP Angel, excellent with corporate and commercial and financial assistance for us. And Chin Tao Zeng, he's a representative of our major shareholder, Ri Xin, who are a 29% shareholder of our company. They're associated with some of the Chinese lithium manufacturers. So we have a major shareholder who came in early to our project. They've been very supportive of us. We've had strong financial support and strong technical support as we look to develop the project. And we're very fortunate actually that Chin Tao, as their representative, is a PhD in geology. He has excellent knowledge. He has excellent contacts into the lithium market. And again, part of our team focused on the development of our project. As I mentioned, the strategic investor is 29% holder of the company. They've invested, actually should say now about $6.3 million. And their main focus with us, as was said, they came into our project early. They're looking to secure the offtake agreement to secure supply of a quality spodumene product, which as we go through, you'll see we can produce. So why lithium and why did Kodal get involved with lithium? Well, in our view, it's pretty clear. The world is changing. We're moving away from a focus on fossil fuels. It's driven, by a lot of personal demand. It's driven by a lot of government legislation, and it's driven by a lot of technical development. And I'm sure, as Mike pointed out tonight, he hears mobile phones going off all the time. Everyone has personal devices. Everyone has laptop computers. The demand for vehicles is increasing, and just this morning I was reading a story about Mercedes-Benz and the development of their electric vehicle and the huge uptake they're experiencing with that. It's a driver for the lithium market. At the moment, demand exceeds supply. that's the niche we want to get into. We want to become a proven supplier. These are all the uses. Increasing use actually in renewable energy. And again, as I said, governments are sponsoring and focused on green energy, wind and solar, wave. Often that's producing at times when it's not required. The battery, lithium-ion battery, assists with that in storage and allowing of that power to be used in peak demand periods. Key item here, we're looking at something that's saying 31 billion in 2016, and we're expecting that to be at least 67 and probably higher by 2022. Our aim is to be into the market before that and be, as I say, a very reliable producer. Changing world again. You can see here this electric vehicle, the rise of where they're going. China, huge demand. USA, huge demand. We know about Europe and the focus on cleaning up. No diesel, less fossil fuel, less petrol-driven cars in cities. It's going to be all about how we can penetrate this market, how it can become more affordable for people, and that's technology improving the batteries, technology improving the range of the vehicles. So we're seeing a huge growth. Again, all this talk, governments, social, people, it's driving the improvement in lithium ion and the penetration of the lithium ion batteries. So where we are, we're in Mali. Our main project, BOUGOUNI, the BOUGOUNI lithium project. You can see here we have 3 licenses covering an area of 450 square kilometres. We're very fortunate. This is a bitumen road. The capital, Bamako, is about 180 k's to the north of us. Sealed road to the borders, sealed road throughout our project here. Water, power, workforce, excellent location. Southern Mali is very peaceful, farming communities, but as well as a lot of already operating gold mines. What we see, what we've done, as I said, we acquired the project only in late 2016, so about 18 months ago. Since that time, we've completed over 35,000 metres of drilling. So we've been very active. We're very fortunate that we were onto high-grade prospects early, and then we were able to define and drill test those, and we've moved very rapidly from early stage to today, where I was very pleased to have an announcement outlining our maiden resource estimate, outlining some early stage optimisations that demonstrate that this BOUGOUNI project has the potential to develop a new mining operation, as I said, low cost, high margin product. We've got mineralisation, and you'll see shortly, defined at 3 of our main prospects. So Ngolana here, Sogalabale here, Bumu here. Our thought process at the moment of how we're going to develop this this mining operation is actually in a multi-pit, single processing plant. We're looking at a processing plant approximately here, haul roads servicing a one plant multi-pit operation. Pretty simple geology. As an exploration geologist, sometimes you like complexity. It's a challenge, it's interesting. You get a lot of challenges in things like gold, in base metals and so on. Pegmatites are slightly different. They're late stage intrusions, they're veins. They're often white, bright, clear rocks. As a gold exploration geologist, we used to hate them because they were late stage and they'd cut away the gold ore. Now, that's what we look for. Outcropping, so they're solid, they're resistant. The rocks around them are weathering away so that we've got exposure. So we've got clear targets early on. And again, as I said earlier, that's great for us as a mining operation that it's near surface outcropping mineralisation. So, as I said, today we released our maiden resource estimate, and for me that's a great step. It's a really important development for our project. What it has done is it's taken us from an exploration to a resource point, a great decision point. What it means now is we're actually starting on the next phase where we're going from the resource to the mining operation, and that's going to be a very exciting phase again for us. Our focus, as I said earlier, has been about speed to get into this market. We, I think, have clearly identified a niche opportunity. We've got a lot of support from our shareholders, and today, as I said, the resource, 17 million tonnes at 1.2% lithium oxide, good grade, good tonnes. Most of the tonnes coming from Sogola-Baoulé. This was our second target, and just in our last field campaign, obviously vaulted over and it's become our number one. Plenty of opportunity to expand this. Ngualana, very good grade, high outcropping mineralisation. First one we tested. Again, opportunities to expand this, and Little Boumou here is one that I really like. It's a prospect we discovered just over a year ago. Again, surface mineralisation. All our samples were very high grade at the start. Our drilling is still relatively wide spaced, so while we're currently showing a low grade and low tonnes, what this work is doing is allowing us to focus more importantly in key areas and focus on grade and focus on the opportunity to expand the important parts of this prospect. So it's a start, it's a maiden resource. We expect it to grow. We've got clear opportunity to grow it. We're in the inferred category at the moment, but partly that's driven by the fact that we need our independent geologists to come to site. They need to have a verification of our processes and confirm that we're doing everything correctly. So there'll be news flow as we upgrade the resource, as we expand the resource, as we move through various categories. And this is important because we are active exploration. We're constantly drilling. Right now in Mali it's the rainy season, but we're drilling through that. We've got diamond drilling happening here at Sogola-Baoulé, both for definition and extension, so there'll be ongoing news flow throughout these months. And this is what we think a starting point can be for our operation. Sogola-Baoulé, excellent pit. One of the key things that I talk about here is that you can see this red is the interpreted zone of mineralisation. You can see places like this, the pit's taken all of that mineralisation. Essentially at the moment we're resource constrained. We should be drilling more, we should be drilling deeper through here, we should be drilling this gap, we should be drilling further to the northeast. That's our plan. That's why we're going to expand this. And this area in particular is over 45 metres thick of pegmatite, grading up to 1.6% from our drilling. A very high priority target to extend. Here at Ngualana, again, you can see that the resource is pretty much fully captured within this preliminary pit optimisation. Again, we're looking east, we're looking west. We can do a bit more to define this deeper potential. Very interesting opportunity. I could show you the Boumou, but as I said, it's very early stage there. It actually has developed pits, but needs a lot more work. I think this is showing us a minimum 10-year mine life. We're focusing on a 1 million tonne per annum plant. Our aim is to produce over 130,000 tonnes of concentrate. You can see within this we've got 13.2 million tonnes captured in these two pits plus Boumou. We've got a starting point for our operation. This figure here is going to be important as we go through, because that's a factor for how we can say why we think we're going to have a high margin operation. Production, we'll go through the preliminary cost designs, we'll go through the selling point. It's kind of simple mathematics that demonstrate we've got a very positive operation. This is Sogola-Baoulé. We're very happy with this. This is actually all undercover. This was discovered by our, as I said, very good geological team. Nice bit of outcrop, got lost in a zone of faulting, got rediscovered. It's expanding as we go out here. This is what it looks like. Again, as I say, quite a simple story really. Consistent vein, 17 metres at 1.6, 18 metres at 1.5, continues to depth, joins up from section to section really easily. That line there is what we're looking at there. It's a really good little prospect. This one, Ngualana, again, as I said, our first prospect, this was outcropping mineralisation. very clear, very obvious, again high grade. You can see through this zone here we've had some very good intersections, 47 metres at 1.5, mineralisation over 1.6, 1.6, continuous zone. Just to demonstrate that a little more clearly here, we've got a series of sections and you can see point, 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 it joins up. It joins up as you expect to see it through the drilling here, and those 4 lines are those 4 sections there. So a nice, consistent story. In parallel with our exploration and fieldwork, we've also been pushing very hard with what we would consider development and semi-feasibility type studies. Metallurgy, bulk sample, metallurgy both in China where we expect to sell our product to, metallurgy in Australia where we're able to verify and confirm what we're getting as feedback. This bulk sample is interesting for us because it's going to give us a pilot scale test of what we think the mining and processing can be. We are seeing a DMS separation, so this is a well-proven, simple processing path. We're getting high recoveries, we're recovering a very good grade, high grade spodumene concentrate. We're looking at things that are characterised by coarse grain mineralisation. It's excellent for what we're looking to do. And a little summary here, just to basically say, we produce a battery grade, low impurity, high demand product. The Chinese have reported back to us that what we can produce is a premium product to the market. We've done some preliminary engineering studies. We've had a consulting group out of Australia who've recently been involved in building several lithium mines, so some, again, great experience and great assistance to us. Kind of schematic, but a bit of fun. This is what we think our treatment plant can look like. There'll be another series of crushers and tailings facilities and dams and so on associated with this, but a nice start. We've got a good idea of what we're going to do. Straightforward flow sheet. As I said, it's no complex metallurgy here. There's no reinventing of a wheel. We have a process that works. We have a process that's proven to work elsewhere. And, you know, we will copy other people. We'll take what's good and build it for ourselves. Low capex, again, important. This here, 14 million, builds this DMS plant. Additional capital is of course required for the open pits, for the infrastructure of roads, plant, camp, crushing facility and so on. We think our capex can be in the order, and I say in the order of because we're very early stage, $50 to $60 million. So low capex, moving towards a 1 million tonne per annum operating plant, looking to produce around 130,000 tonnes of concentrate a year. The initial review suggests costs of around $400 or lower. We know that the market currently is buying spodumene, good quality spodumene like ours, for between $800 and $900 a tonne. So as I said early on, simple mathematics says that we'll have a margin of between $400 and $500 per tonne of concentrate we sell. 130,000 tonnes of concentrate a year gives us approximately an area of around about $50 million free cash flow a year. Of course, we've got to build up to that. We're working very hard to continue these next stages. So preliminary maiden mineral resource estimated today. Open pit optimisations today. Metallurgical test work and bulk sample is ongoing, and I actually expect that this metallurgical test work will be ongoing for quite a long period just to fine-tune our operation. Bulk sample will be completed in the last quarter of this year. This is an extremely important thing for us as we look to develop a mine. I met with the Mali Ministry of Mines last week, actually at the Africa Down Under conference in Perth. We've discussed looking to lodge a mining application in the second quarter of 2019. This environmental and social impact assessment is key, and also this community development, community liaison, working with the community where we're going to be based to ensure that they get benefit, and we get benefit from what we're doing in the area. All this work will lead to our application for a mining licence, and from then the next stage begins of building, development and commencement of mining. And I'd just like to comment on a little bit of peer comparison, just to say Kodal Minerals at the moment, we're still a junior company, we're still early stage. However, we have now clearly can say we've got an operation that fits, or a project that fits within the top 20 that I know of in the world. We're looking at things that are operating at the moment, things that are in development, and things that I talk about particularly here operating in Australia. Tawana, operating the Bald Hill mine out of Kalgoorlie, Galaxy Resources operating Mount Catlin out of Kalgoorlie. Both of these companies in production, both of these companies operating pegmatite-hosted mineralisation, selling a product. Tawana has a market capitalisation of just under 200 million Aussie dollars. Galaxy, again, much greater market capitalisation compared to us. Where we are at the moment, just announced our resource today. Clearly you can see a pattern emerging here as we move from exploration to development to production. We want to be fast. Again, I probably repeat myself a lot. Quick, active, getting into the market. That's where we can be moving from here to Tawana, to Pilbara, and so on. It's an opportunity we think we're in a position to take advantage of. We're well funded, we're well supported, we've got a high demand commodity, good location, good team. As I say, the right partner, someone wants our product, someone's willing to help us get into production to secure that. And at the moment, we're well funded to undertake that work. And I think Mali is a very positive location to work, very proactive, looking to develop a second mining industry aside from the gold, from which they're very well known. So, pretty quick, I know, but a very interesting story, making great development as we go along. So, any questions? I'm very happy to answer.
Are there any questions at all? Do put your hand up and we'll bring a microphone around and put it underneath your nose. Any questions? Oh, I've got some. Oh, there we go. 2 questions. So, first one just there.
So if we were to invest today, when do you think we can expect the return? Will it be in our lifetime?
Well, I guess you look at a lot of mining companies and you'd probably say the answer is realistically no. But the answer for us is different in that, as I say, a niche industry, a high margin operation, a company that we're looking to move to development quickly. So we have our sort of in-company target of saying production 2020. It's quick. We have a short payback of, as I said, low capex. We have a high return. You know, I have a lot of shares in the company. I'd love to say we're going to get a return and we're going to make a lot of money. I'll give you that answer. It's in my benefit, as well as yours, I hope.
It's a high risk.
Of course, mining is, you know, and exploration actually discovering something is a huge risk, and we've passed that risk already. We've discovered, we've got a resource, we can demonstrate a high quality product. They're keys, you know, there's a lot of other companies at the moment who are scrabbling around for targets. You've seen just there, we've got 3 key targets and we've got a multitude of targets throughout our project. Of course there's risk, but at the moment it's looking like we've got that under some control.
Next question's to the front.
Yeah. How long is your mining license and how stable is Mali government in terms of political and economic?
At the moment, well, you would have seen that we've got 3 licenses. We have new licenses that are valid for 7 years. We have 1 larger license that we've just applied for an extension of term of. Licenses are secure in Mali. Mali has a well-developed mining code. As I said, it's had consistent mining for well over 20 years now, major companies operating in the country. In terms of stability, we're dealing with a country that just had elections last month, re-elected the current president. He'll have a 5-year term. There was clear democratic approach. There was 24 candidates for the presidential election. Democracy is operating in Mali, and it's working quite well. There are issues. It's West Africa. The northern part of Mali has some problems with borders with Algeria and Morocco and some insurgency. It's a long way from where we are. It's a long way from the mining operations. I'm very happy to go there. I think it's a good country to work in. Interestingly enough, a lot of the West African countries have a very strongly developing economy. In Mali, it's based a lot on primary products, farming, cotton, grains. Secondly, the mining from gold and royalties from companies. They're looking to develop there's attempts at a petroleum industry, but there's also attempts at hydrogen industry for future power development. So economically, interesting area to be.
Thank you for the presentation. On funding, you mentioned $50–60 million to get to the first stage to produce.
I hope.
We as a shareholders, how should we think about the equity dilution? Are you thinking about debt, trade finance, your Chinese investor help? How should we think about dilution of us in your company?
Us as well, me as all of us, our shareholders here tonight, we're focused on that, of course. We think that we have an opportunity to build a plant, whether it's through debt, can be something we'd investigate, whether it's through bringing in a partner to assist us with developing the plant and operating that as part of a joint venture. I'm not sure we need to do that, but there's opportunities for things like that. And if we are looking at equity, we would make sure that we offer it to our shareholders to participate if they chose. I don't want to see a lot of dilution, particularly as where we are now, we're in a great position. We've had support from our shareholders, and we'd like to be able to support them as we move to development. It's early, but I can say that we've had interest from people talking to us and saying, as we approach points, they would like to talk to us about funding.
Some of the companies that you have shown on the slide, have they better funding position, they have better balance sheet, or why is the higher valuation for a similar level of resource?
For some of them, the fact is that Australia is a more positive market for junior lithium explorers. Australia was early to the story, an early uptaker in the story. It had a lot of excitement and growth. Greenbushes in Western Australia is the largest hard rock mine in the world. There's multitude of stories happening in Australia. What I showed tonight on that peer comparison was actually companies that are successful. And I can tell you that there's far more companies that are unsuccessful, still trying to be in the lithium market. Why they're doing better at the moment, more advanced, more known to the market, Australian sector. And in some cases, I think, as a comparison, Bacanora compared to Kodal, people have known Bacanora longer. It's probably been in the focus of people longer. We are a newer story, and we're presenting it to people, and I believe people are learning about it quite quickly. And now we're in a position, as I say, as of today, mineral resource estimate, optimizations, processing path, clear for people. I expect that, what happened today was a news release that actually was covering a lot of topics. I understand it's hard for people often to digest that, and I expect over the next few days and weeks, as it becomes clearer of what we've actually said, that we'll see an improvement in the appreciation of the company.
Thank you. Time for one more question, I think, if everybody's got a question. Final one just there.
Very interesting talk, thank you. I don't know where Kodal Minerals is based. I assume it's Australia?
No, London.
London, okay.
Yep, Maddox Street.
Okay. But in this climate where trade is important and we have to look after important assets, what happens if, for example, the UK government, Americans, certain people won't mention, suddenly say that lithium is an important element and we cannot trade, and your 29% shareholder in China has to be excluded? What effect would that have on the company? Because I can see it happening going two ways. Either the Chinese investor will make a bid for the whole company because it's a great asset, which may be blocked, or conversely, London and other governments may say lithium is such an important asset, we have to protect it for national security. What would happen to the share price in Kodal if the Chinese investor was excluded for any reasons? Thank you.
That's a really tricky question for me. My crystal ball's a little bit hazy, but I will say a couple of comments there, and that is, we as Kodal, an AIM-listed London-based company, are operating in Mali. We are working on a Malian-based project, so we are aware as a company that Mali also has a strong input into what happens to the development of that project. That's a key driver for me. We always maintain strong government relations. As I pointed out, social impact, social development is key for us to be able to operate. When you're saying things like, large-scale government trade and international trade, it's difficult for me to see how I can comment on how that will impact us, other than to say what we produce is actually, at the moment, a rock. We're selling someone a mineral, a spodumene mineral, that they then take and convert to a lithium carbonate. As it stands, it really is just a rock, and it's something that will not be subject, in my view, should not be subject to someone saying this is something that can't be traded. It actually has to be treated and processed to become lithium carbonate and usable in batteries. And if the case is that the UK decides that we have to sell our product into a UK or European market, fine. There's processors here that will take it. There's processors in Europe that are looking for it. And as I mentioned, we're seeing things like Mercedes, Volkswagen, huge drivers, Volvo, huge drivers for lithium demand, and there's refineries here that are looking to secure product. So at the moment, we could say we've tied our flag to China, to our major investor, to going down that path because of their support, but it's not the only one that can help us.
Bernard, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for that answer. Thank you.